I wanted to attend this summit because I understand that I am a global citizen. I understand that I owe a lot to this planet. I have consumed a lot from it and I haven't paid back. And therefore I believe that it is us as the citizens of this world that need to come together to understand ways where we could help this planet in the meantime and for the generations to come.
Well, I think, one of the greatest things we can aspire to be as human beings is not just to be successful in our communities, but to be significant.
When we travel to other places and we sit with other people, we add to our culture and we learn new things and we bring it to our own community and we teach other people.
Well, I was really nervous and really scared. I thought I wasn't smart enough to be here.
My greatest fear was that these guys are like much smarter than me. They might have gone to better schools or better colleges and stuff, and they're more mentally equipped than me.
But once I got to meet a lot of people that already arrived, I think I felt more relaxed, and I was really surprised by how diverse this place is, because everyone's from all these different nations that I've never met.
Later when I got to know them, I realized that we were all very similar.
I always thought, well, of course these people are going to be similar to me in many ways, and that's the whole point of being a global citizen. But it wasn't until I actually met them that I realized, wow, this is so incredible. I can have a casual conversation and joke around with a guy from Somalia or a girl from Afghanistan, and to me that was really eye-opening.
So we're here on Thompson Island. The kids will be working closely together in their Harkness sessions with their group. And what we wanted to do is provide them an experience in which they can really kind of investigate a little bit more about who they are, who their peers are, and how they work together. And it's also very important for understanding kind of how they feel about leadership. And I think what's been really interesting is throughout the activities, they've been really asked to collaborate, communicate, trust each other. And you've seen kind of natural leaders come out and direct, but there have been moments where they've shifted.
I think we learned to put ourselves out there a bit, do things that we're not familiar with, and to appreciate the different methods of being a leader. I think we learned to listen to each other, to try other people's approaches, to be patient with the system and with each other.
The most important lesson that I learned was collaboration, that we all depend on each other whether we want it or not, and the way to succeed is by collaboration.
What was really the most impressive and new thing to me was the Harkness method at the table. It was so touching because really you really get to know how different people think.
Harkness is a very different methodology from conventional teaching. The shift is simply shifting from a teacher-centered institution to a student-centered institution, and that difference is profound.
I think it was really the Harkness discussions that I learned the most from. I learned about myself and I learned about where I'm from, and I was really surprised by how curious everyone is.
The function of the teacher at the Harkness table is to be an advocate for the process. And the process is the conversation, which is the collaborative inquiry. Students are all working together on the same problem, the same issue, and they are working it out for themselves.
In Japan, we have lecture type classes. We don't really get to say what we want, and we don't really get to ask questions or give some ideas or thoughts when we have classes. But in the Harkness discussion, the teacher kind of sits back and listens to what the students are discussing about, and the students can say their ideas whenever they want and kind of respond to each other.
It really made me feel empowered, that my opinion could really have influence in the conversation that we were having.
I think the students are so much more engaged in the Harkness discussion instead of having lecture type classes like back in Japan.
The attention that we have given to some of the most important questions of our time. It's never too early to start thinking seriously about global poverty, global justice, global leadership. These are often literally matters of life and death for millions of people around the world, and for engaged and bright and promising youth to start thinking about these questions from an early age is exciting to me and gives me hope.
Dr. Bruno gave us a really insightful look on the theory of language, learning, and culture.
And one of the key concepts that he talked to us about was this idea of doxa. And he describes it very well. It is the box when we describe the idea thinking outside of the box.
The norms and ideas implemented in a society through its inhabitants, and how it is important to separate oneself from this doxa and be able to look at the world from the outside to see what is working well and what's working wrong. And it's important to do this in order to look at it objectively and not be brainwashed by your social ideologies.
Language creates another dimension, and through learning different languages you get a better understanding for language as an entity. And this brought home to me the fact that I am so limited in my culture. I only have one language and I have such a specific culture, and this has just brought home the fact that I need to expand myself. This has inspired me to go back and learn another language and to immerse myself into other cultures.
So, what do I want to accomplish as a global citizen? I hope to inspire people. I hope to be a leader. I hope to lead by example and lead from behind. This program has given me a lot of great skills to be equipped with, and I hope to utilize them in the future.
I think what was most remarkable about this experience was how it gives you a plan of action, or it encourages you to make one yourself. Because especially as a high school student, there are a lot of times where we have lots of great ideas, brainstorming in clubs and things, but we don't feel empowered or like we have the ability or the support to create our own startup. So I think that this experience really gives you no option but to make a plan of action to implement in your community.
One thing I learned this week that I would like to take back to my community is to really speak up for others as well as for myself, because by talking with my fellow scholars, I found out that they really take actions in their local areas that really have impact on their schools and as well as their society.
We need to start looking at things that make us similar, things that we could work with. There's so many opportunities we could harness to work together to develop innovative solutions and to be able to be part of the solution rather than to be part of the people that still continue to fight wars and still continue to be divided.
I look forward to maintaining contacts with these students and hearing about the great things that they'll be doing.
I think the one thing I'm looking forward to the most is staying in touch with everybody, certainly, and my dream would be to be able to visit them in their own countries one day and to be a visitor into their countries like they've come to visit the U.S.
One piece of advice I have if you're looking to apply for this program is not to get intimidated. I think I was definitely intimidated that I didn't speak enough languages or that I didn't know enough about different politics all over the world, but at the end of the day there's so many different things you can connect with the different students and the different people you meet, the different experiences you're going to have, and the classroom sessions and everything are truly incredible and are just such great learning opportunities that I definitely suggest it to anyone who's interested in becoming a global citizen.
Be responsible. You know you're responsible to the things that are around you, even though you don't see how you can affect them. Just be brave and take action towards the things you believe in.
Never say that life is boring, life is like that, because just look back and see how much you improve and how much you develop in your life, and inspire yourself. Be confident as much as you want. Just trust yourself, because you're the only one who can make your future, who can change the world. So never give up, follow your dream and help others.
I quite like quotes because I think they summarize and really capture the entire idea of something. And Mr. Harvard Knowles said that certainty is the death of all thought. And I think that's something that's really going to stick with me, the idea that nothing is ever clear and we can keep working on something until we reach what we think is the best solution.